They don't have any faith in Gavin Newsom.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of funny because he wants to be president so bad.
That's true what it looks
But
like.
you can't ruin a city and then go on to ruin a state and say, guys, that was just practice.
I know.
Once I get it as a president, I'm going to fix it.
Well, you can't, it's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes, did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent Morse code.
Tyrus and Joe Rogan have had enough of Gavin Newsom's rehearsed speeches and perfect hairdos, and now they're spilling everything. The fires raging in California have nothing on the kind of secrets they're hinting at. So, what exactly did they uncover? And why is it that one side of Hollywood acts unfazed while the other is breaking a sweat? Things are about to get sharp, weird, and maybe a little too real, so buckle up.
Yeah.
You have the highest unemployment.
Yeah.
You have the highest homelessness.
Look what they did with Hollywood.
Money's missing. You killed Hollywood. Like, Hollywood doesn't exist anymore. It's literally gone.
That was such an easy one.
mandated vaccines for kids that didn't need them. You guys...
What I saw, what it looked to me like he was negotiating with a deaf prostitute.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support goes a long way. No one could have predicted this twist for 2025, Joe Rogan and Tyrus taking aim at Gavin Newsom. Yet here we are, watching California's most polished politician get roasted hotter than an LA sidewalk in July. When they dropped their truth bomb, you could almost hear avocado toast lovers from Malibu to San Francisco gasp in unison. And honestly, whenever these two start talking, you can bet someone's PR team is scrambling to do damage control.
I mean, it's so crazy, but he's such a great politician. I mean,
No, he's
so
not.
smooth.
He's
You
not,
don't think
though.
so?
No, I think he's terrible.
How's
It's
he
just-
remained
it's
in
'cause
power
he
for
has
so long?
Low competition. There's no one who's
there's
good
that.
is competing against him.
I
There's
guess
no
I
sincerity.
should say he's not a good. I should say he's smooth. He comes.
I
across
mean,
pretty
he's a
smooth.
good bullshit artist.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But it's like what the things that he says when he gets confronted with things. We're the highest this and the highest that. Like,
Yeah.
like,
It all started off pretty harmless. After a few light jabs and quick laughs, Newsom's name slipped into the conversation like a veggie sandwich at a Texas barbecue, unexpected and impossible to ignore. The room's energy shifted fast. Once Joe Rogan began making his points, the calm cracked wide open. And Tyrus, let's just say subtlety isn't exactly his style either.
Watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink. Look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending. I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
Ew.
And then, look, he's blinking. And then eventually, the camera guy realizing that he's signaling him, so he gets appalled, leans back, camera comes down, and then we're back to this. I'll do this for you. You do this for me a little. So he's saying whatever he's going to say. There it is. See? They couldn't hold him back. He's like, I'm not on film. Oh, I'm not. Nope. Bring my hands up. Bring him up. Bring him up. Bring him up. Bring him up.
To shut him down, he dares you to hurl the entire marker board across the room. Gavin Newsom has worn the crown of California politics for so long, it's as if he grew up right beside the Pinot Noir vines in Napa Valley. With a grin worthy of a toothpaste ad, hair straight out of a shampoo commercial, and speeches so sleek they could pass for a masterclass in charm, he's built an image that seems almost untouchable.
Newsom told the Los Angeles Times Panera would not be exempt from the law. The spokesperson also did not acclaim the Bloomberg piece, which cited sources close to the matter that Newsom pushed for an exemption that applies to businesses that bake bread and sell it as a standalone item, calling the report absurd. So is it a fake story?
Or is it something that they
might have corrected
hustled on
course
and
quickly?
corrected course quickly? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the roll up to the top. So where's the initial report? Let's find the initial.
With rent priced like a vital organ and social experiments popping up on every corner, the California dream Gavin Newsom painted slowly began to look more like a Netflix dystopia than a real-life paradise. So when Rogan and Tyrus decided to lay everything on the table, it wasn't just for laughs. It turned into a full-on clash of egos and contradictions. Rogan came in with his signature mix of logic and wild what-if scenarios, cutting right through the shine. Tyrus, on the other hand, didn't need words. A folded pair of arms and that classic unimpressed look were enough to turn Newsom's polished politics into a stand-up routine. Picture it, two men breaking down leadership halfway between shock and disbelief, hinting that maybe Gavin Newsom's picture-perfect image is just a little too neat to be real. Meanwhile, Newsom flashes that toothpaste ad smile, insisting everything's fine. It's almost surreal, like watching someone rearrange deck chairs on the Titanic and claiming the ship's floating better. And Tyrus, he didn't sugarcoat a thing because, well, that's just who he is.
Back and watch the tape.
Yes.
He literally goes, I want some of this, then you do some of this, and I'll do some of that back to you, and then we'll do this, and then I'll pay you, and then we'll do it again.
True.
And then she kept saying, no. Okay, how about this? You do this one first, then we do this one, then we give a little back and forth.
He pointed out that California's biggest exports aren't entertainment or tech anymore. It's people packing up and leaving. It's like a twisted reality show where the grand prize is simply surviving the electric bill. And the strangest part, Newsom calls this mass exit growth. Rogan, ever the sharp thinker with a punchline ready, couldn't ignore the irony. If that's growth, then Texas is winning the jackpot every single day. So he started asking the kinds of questions politicians love to dodge, simple on the surface, but with no safe answers hiding underneath. Why, in one of the wealthiest states in the country, do the roads still look like they've been hammered by a toddler? Why does smoke from yet another wildfire manage to seep into every shiny new green initiative? What started as a roast quickly turned into something deeper. Rogan and Tyrus asked what no one in the mainstream seemed bold enough to say out loud. While everyone else was distracted by whispers of Newsom's presidential ambitions, they zeroed in on the real issue. Do people outside California actually want California's problems turned into national policies? It wasn't about secret plots or hidden scandals. It was about something far more powerful, how people see things. Perception.
Why would Bloomberg spread bullshit? Bloomberg is a financial paper, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's not something
I don't think it would be.
you really can't do that if you're running a financial paper. It's not like the New York Times. The New York Times can say Israel bombed the hospital and 500 people are killed and put it on the front page, even if it's not true. And everybody just assumes it's true because it's the New York Times. But they can kind of get away with that.
Yeah.
And then
The idea is simple but powerful. Gavin Newsom has built such a polished persona that no matter what's burning behind him, he'll just roll up his sleeves, flash that practiced grin, and point to climate change. It's the political version of, it's not you, it's me, except with higher taxes and even less accountability. And yet, you can't ignore his pull. The man has a natural charm. He could probably convince a crowd that buying a $12 green smoothie is a patriotic duty. Rogan joked that Newsom's real skill isn't solving problems, it's turning chaos into something that looks like progress. Who else can paint a future full of homelessness, blackouts, and sky-high gas prices with the same enthusiasm you'd expect at a SpaceX launch? Tyrus, ever the sharp-tongued skeptic, cut through the performance. In his eyes, California isn't a state anymore, it's a stage. Newsom greets criticism with that trademark smile that practically says, "You'll still vote for me." And the wild part? Many do. That glossy Hollywood glow makes it easy for people to overlook just how messy things are beneath the surface. It's like being stuck in traffic while the driver insists, this is part of the adventure. Thanks to Rogan and Tyrus, the whole thing played out like a masterclass in political branding, how to keep the image spotless even as the ground starts to crack below.
The California budget cuts and stuff, since they didn't have a hearing impaired transitioner anymore, I'm not paying money for that, I'll do it myself. So, you know. A little bit of bubble. Yeah. Could you imagine if you were the signed person for the TV going?
No, he reminds me there of, remember the guy who did the sign language at Mandela's?
Mandela once taught the world how to stay calm when everything around you is in chaos. Gavin Newsom seems to have taken a page from that playbook, only he's mastered the art of spinning disasters into prime publicity. If blame shifting were an Olympic sport, he'd be racking up more medals than Michael Phelps. Then came the moment that sent the internet buzzing. Tyrus pointed out how spotless Newsom's rise has been for someone leading a state that's constantly stuck in what feels like a never-ending season finale. Blackouts, floods, fires, billion-dollar scandals, yet somehow he always walks away untouched. It's as if the scriptwriters of modern politics handed him plot armor. Rogan couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity. How does someone stay that clean when the mess is that big? It's like watching a man stroll through a barbecue in a white outfit and leave without a single stain. Either he's bending reality to his will, or he's got a streak of luck that would make a lottery winner jealous. The conversation deepened, turning toward Hollywood's infatuation, media bias, and the almost cult-like glow surrounding Newsom. At this point, he doesn't even need a campaign team. Vanity Fair practically plays that role for him. A sweeping drone shot of California's beaches with soft lighting is enough to dazzle half the country before they even notice gas prices creeping towards $7 a gallon. Ever the curious skeptic, Rogan observed how Newsom keeps appearing on the biggest stages as if he's auditioning for a much bigger part. And honestly, it's starting to look like he just might be.
Some of the success that they're hanging their hat on is his social media campaign where he talks like Trump.
It's no longer the rule of law. It's increasingly the rule of Don.
So he's got a bunch of people from his organization that tweet for him, and they tweet like Trump, and they're saying this has elevated him in the public's eye. That's terrifying.
You've seen it across the board. People are scared to death of this guy.
He's starting to learn the internet sensibility.
It's the appalling silence. It's the complicity. You're seeing the most successful, wealthiest people scared to death of this guy.
Which is heavily trolling, does very well. What he has is
Maybe California was never the main show, just the warm-up act. And if that's true, as Rogan and Tyrus hinted, America might want to check the reviews before buying a front row ticket. Because if their take holds weight, the Gavin Newsom brand thrives more on how things look than on what actually gets done. The vibe matters more than the scoreboard, and right now, that vibe is equal parts disorder and great hair. They didn't need to spell it out, it was written between every line. If Newsom ever declared a state of emergency because the lighting wasn't flattering, someone would probably still call it bold and forward-thinking. Meanwhile, everyday Californians are too busy guessing what disaster is next. Wildfire, earthquake, or another tax hike. Mid-conversation, Rogan went full philosopher mode and posed a question that cut deep. Has America's craving for genuine competence been replaced by its obsession with polished images? Newsom, like it or not, is the living version of an Instagram politician. Flawless lighting, perfect angles, smooth delivery. Tyrus nailed it when he said, "The real power lies in how easily he makes people believe he's solving problems just by acknowledging them." For anyone defending the idea of California as a shining success story, the moment was both eye-opening and a little embarrassing, but the irony was hard to ignore. Everyone's pretending nothing's wrong, and sarcasm has become the only language that still feels honest.
Gestures match the words coming out of his mouth.
Right. Yes,
if the president was like, "We want peace in the Middle East," you know what I'm saying? He would be like,
Right,
and like,
That's it. That it is. It's the contrast.
yeah, like Gavin, his hands are aggressive. You know,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of theories. One, it was a bad negotiation with a deaf hooker. You know, now he doesn't want to pay for, you know.
Do you have a problem with deaf hookers?
He does, because the deal went south.
It's called the Helen Kellen special.
Tyrus and Rogan never set out to tear Gavin Newsom apart. What they did, almost by accident, was prove how quickly a carefully crafted image can unravel when faced with plain, ordinary logic. And that's the irony. The man who preaches perfection runs a state that often looks like the messy aftermath of a failed TikTok stunt. Yet, through all the chaos, Newsom keeps that trademark smile as if the disorder itself were part of the grand plan. In the end, Tyrus and Rogan didn't just spotlight Gavin Newsom, they exposed the entire stage play of modern politics. Media filters, catchy slogans, carefully curated alliances. They peeled back the gloss to reveal the chaos hiding outside the frame. America's next big thing might care more about style than actual solutions. And that's the real punchline. Because as long as voices like Tyrus and Rogan keep asking the uncomfortable questions, the shine can only last so long before it cracks. And when it does, it's always telling to see who scrambles to fix it and who just slaps on another filter. Just when everyone thought they were done, Rogan and Tyrus walked straight into the Hollywood bubble that's been propping up Newsom's image for years. And this time, they didn't buy the show.
Talks about California. It's like, you know, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. California has all this industry. Hey, fucko, they're all thinking about moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. If it was like every business could instantly pull up roots and replace everything and have everything running in a week at the other place, They'd all.
You know that odd little world where celebrities shout about saving the planet right before hopping on a private jet to a climate summit? Rogan couldn't help but laugh at the irony. Tyrus rolled his eyes so dramatically it looked like he might file a workers' comp claim afterward. Because California's problems aren't just homelessness and inflation anymore. There's a layer of fantasy wrapped in designer labels. As they kept talking, the two started comparing Newsom's speeches to award show monologues, long, dramatic, and filled with big, impressive-sounding words that don't actually say much. It's like watching trailers for movies that never make it to theaters. Equality, prosperity, reliable power, all promised but still in production. Rogan joked, somehow California's utopia manages to pass laws that send even its own fans packing. Getting applause while taxing people into exhaustion, he added, is the best magic trick anyone's ever pulled. Every trip to the grocery store feels like a luxury getaway, yet the roads still look like they belong on the moon. Tyrus summed it up perfectly. California is like dating someone who swears they'll change, but your wallet keeps vanishing. And then came the punchline that tied it all together.
You can fix California while you stop by. 2 shows, you should be able to do that.
Hey, you know what? Real funny. So the other night, I got like 3 weeks ago, time flies when you work. I get a text at 2 o'clock in the morning from the president who says, hey, bro, I just filled California up with water. Governor's pissed and sent pictures, LOL post. Who doesn't love this president?
Newsom himself isn't even the scariest part, Rogan said. It's the fact that despite all the chaos, half the country still goes, yeah, let's give that a shot. His words hung in the air, and for a few seconds, no one said a thing. The silence spoke louder than any punchline could. Everyone in that room understood it. People aren't just buying into a politician, they're buying into a carefully wrapped illusion. Tyrus leaned forward with that familiar mix of humor and frustration. He's the kind of guy who'd set a bonfire to stop a wildfire and call it innovation. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. What Rogan and Tyrus exposed went far beyond Newsom. As an individual, it cut into the very heart of how politics works today. A dazzling performance built on applause, camera angles, and expertly staged moments. Earlier in their conversation, they joked about California's Netflix dystopia, the award show speeches dressed up as policy promises, and the Instagram-level perfection that keeps the brand polished while the foundation cracks. They showed how people cheer for headlines instead of solutions, how they confuse presentation with progress. And Newsom, smiling through every crisis, flawless hair untouched by the smoke, embodies that system perfectly. The spotlight never fades. There's always another big speech to give, another flattering headline to spin, another camera ready to catch the perfect angle. That's the true danger Rogan pointed to. Not one politician, but a culture that rewards performance over substance. Tyrus and Rogan didn't just mock Newsom, they exposed the theater itself. Politics has turned into performance art where truth isn't just revealed, it's echoed, twisted, and shared until the illusion starts to feel real. And as long as the show goes on, the audience keeps clapping.